They tried to ignore it. Pretend it never happened. Let the moment fade like it was nothing. But the internet doesn't forget. And this time, it didn't let go. Because what happened on that stage wasn't just another performance. It was a split-second moment. Raw, unfiltered, impossible to script. The kind of moment that slips through control, through editing, through everything designed to keep things perfect. At first, it was subtle. Easy to miss if you weren't paying attention. But someone noticed. Then another. And suddenly, clips started spreading, zoomed in, slowed down, replayed over and over again. And that's when everything changed. Because the more people watched, the more questions started building. Why did it feel so real? Why did it look different from everything else that night? And why does it feel like this wasn't meant to be seen at all? You can feel it in the reactions, in the silence that followed, in the way people keep going back, trying to understand what they just witnessed. This isn't just about a moment anymore. It's about why that moment is being overlooked and what it actually reveals. So don't look away. Watch closely. Because once you see it clearly, you'll understand why the internet refused to stay quiet. The clip didn't explode all at once. It crept into timelines quietly, almost unnoticed, buried between polished highlights and carefully framed moments. But something about it refused to blend in. It felt too raw, too unguarded, like a fragment that slipped through a system built on control. At first, people hesitated. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was just another angle, another interpretation. But the more it circulated, the harder it became to dismiss. Because what it captured wasn't just movement on a stage, it was tension. A shift. A moment that didn't follow the script everyone was used to seeing. And that's where the discomfort began. The performance itself was flawless, at least on the surface. Lights hit every mark, sound echoed perfectly, every transition seamless. But hidden inside that perfection was a crack, small, almost invisible, yet impossible to ignore once you saw it. A glance that lasted a fraction too long. A reaction that didn't match the rhythm. A silence that felt louder than the music. People began to slow it down, frame by frame, searching for clarity. Not because they wanted drama, but because something about it felt unfinished. Unexplained. Like a sentence cut off before it reached its meaning. And then came the comparisons. Different angles. Different uploads. Different cuts of the same moment. Some clearer, some distorted, but all pointing toward the same thing, that what happened wasn't an illusion. It wasn't a trick of lighting or perspective. It was real. And the more angles surfaced, the more the narrative everyone accepted started to feel or incomplete. But still, nothing was addressed. No acknowledgement. No explanation. Just silence. And silence has a way of amplifying everything. Because when something real is left unanswered, it grows. It spreads into questions, theories, interpretations. Not all of them accurate, but all of them driven by the same need to understand what was seen. What made it even more intense was the contrast. On one side, the official version remained untouched, perfect, controlled, unshaken. On the other, the internet kept replaying a moment that didn't fit that perfection. A moment that felt human in a space designed to feel flawless. And that contrast created tension. Not loud, chaotic tension, but something quieter. Heavier. The kind that lingers in the background, making everything feel slightly off. Like a truth that exists just beneath the surface, visible only if you're willing to look long enough. The longer it stayed unaddressed, the more people leaned in. Because ignoring something doesn't erase it. It sharpens it. It turns curiosity into focus, and focus into something harder to control. The clip became more than just a viral moment. It became a question mark that refused to fade. What exactly happened in that split second? Why did it feel so different from everything else that night? And most importantly, why does it feel like we're only seeing part of the story? The answers aren't obvious. They are buried in fragments, angles, reactions, details that don't fully align but refuse to disappear. And maybe that's what makes it so unsettling. Not that something happened, but that whatever happened is still being quietly left behind, while everyone pretends there's nothing to see. So the clip keeps playing. Over and over again. Not because people want drama, but because they can't shake the feeling that something important is hidden inside it. And until that feeling is resolved, this moment won't be forgotten. The longer the moment lingered online, the more it refused to settle into a simple explanation. It didn't fade like most viral clips. It sharpened. Every replay felt heavier, every angle adding weight to something that still didn't fully reveal itself. What made it different wasn't just what happened, but what followed. A subtle shift in how the footage was shown. Edits that seemed tighter. Cuts that moved quicker past that exact second. Nothing obvious, nothing you could point at and prove, but enough to make people pause. Enough to make them go back and compare, again and again. Because when something real slips through, even for a second,